Welcome in, episode 62 of Ramie and Drew. I am Ramie Mackloff. That is Drew Flaggy. We're just a couple of Milwaukee comedians who talk about sports and whatever other bullshit might come to mind. I'm being told that we cannot stream on Twitter right now by StreamYard. So we're just on Facebook and YouTube right now. I'll have to figure out the Twitter thing some other time. But you can follow us, like us, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend on YouTube, Spotify, and on Apple. You may notice the show looks even shittier than usual today. Well, on Drew's end, I got this nice setup. I got a ring light, I got a microphone, I got a desk, I got a background. Drew is usually just on his phone in his living room and the light from his TV shining on him and he looks like a serial killer. Tonight, Drew, where do we find you?
I'm on Oklahoma, or no, I'm on like National Avenue driving home. There's dumb RNC traffic. There's no cops. I don't know what the hell is going on here.
You're nowhere near the RNC.
Yeah, there's outlets from like the freeway, but I don't even know what the hell's going on with traffic this week. I've had to drive down there and, I don't want to, do our tax dollars go towards public transit,
Yes.
like the buses?
Yes.
Well, the buses are a fucking problem. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I think public money goes to public transportation. I could be speaking out of turn here, but I think they do.
Listen,
Why? What are the buses doing to you? We get public transportation is a good thing. I don't take it, but it's a good thing.
the amount of buses that have swerved in front of me while I've been on my phone trying to set up this podcast has been ridiculous.
Yeah. They really need to watch where the fuck they're going, right?
Buses need to be more aware of when a podcast is happening.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. They need to be aware of podcasters out here on the roads. For sure.
Dude,
For sure.
I'm very anti-bus. Like, I've already, over the years, expressed on stage during comedy how much I'm already, like, not a big fan of firefighters because of their grocery shopping habits. Like, listen, I think that firefighters, it's a noble job.
Sure.
And I think they work really hard.
They're out there putting their life on the line to save others.
They do. They absolutely do. But
the most selfless of our public servants, I would say, firefighters.
Yeah, probably. And that's what pains me to say is they got to learn how to fucking grocery shop, man. Those guys at any hour of the day could very well be running 5 wide down the goddamn chip aisle.
Yeah, I've seen them. They got a lot of people to feed, dude. They're cooking for a whole firehouse at once.
That's totally fine, but Dale's famous chili doesn't need to get made every day in July. I'm sorry, like, you don't need to just. You don't gotta walk shoulder to shoulder like you're the goddamn British Army in the 1700s.
That bothers me. Not just from firefighters, but that bothers me when there's like a whether it's a sidewalk or walking path in the park or a shopping aisle, and a lot white women do it a lot where they don't understand that, like, we got to split this aisle. You can't stay shoulder to shoulder. You got to get single file, maybe double file. Maybe if it's a wider walking, maybe we can go double file. But you can't just stay shoulder to shoulder and take up the whole thing and expect us to move out of your way.
The fact that we live in a society is becoming a problem. Okay? Because the fact that, like, if you are 5 feet away from your shopping cart at any time in the grocery aisles, anybody, including employees of stores or vendors or whatever profession you have, or firefighters for this matter, if you leave your shopping cart by an arm's length, I'll trim it back down from 5 feet. You should be allowed to kick their fucking cart over.
Kick it over, not just move it out of the way. Just move it out of the way. Why don't you kick it over? That's crazy.
Have you ever moved someone's shopping cart? They're like, whoa, that's my shopping cart.
Yeah, and then I was just moving it. It was in the way.
I'm sorry, the middle of the aisle is international waters, and I can do what I want. If I don't give a shit about your Cocoa Pebbles or anything like that, I'm kicking your cart over. It's going on the side, and you're picking it up.
I feel like knocking the cart over is an overreaction.
I want to be known as like the Calico Jack of fuck. I want to be like a pirate in like the goddamn grocery aisles. I will start raiding people's carts. Calico Jack was a real pirate. I watched Black Sails. I'm like way into that show. That show was pretty sick.
I haven't checked it out.
That was a fun pirate show, but it was like dark. It was like Game of Thrones, which was pretty sick too. Fucking drive. Like, what's wrong with people? But like, dude, like, yeah.
I was just gonna say, you've had to go down there for work. I told my girlfriend earlier this week, and it's not just because I want nothing to do with the people that are down there. If it was any convention, I wouldn't go down there. I remember a few years ago, Kamala Harris was in town shortly after they had won the election, and she was going from one place to another when I happened to be going to work, and they literally just shut down the entire interstate, like the whole interstate from, I don't know, downtown to Greenfield. It was insane, dude. It was crazy. And everybody who was supposed, it was the middle of the day, so there weren't that many people out. But when you force everybody who would be on the interstate off onto side streets and everybody's trying to find their way, everything gets jammed up and fucked up, dude. It was a nightmare. It's the only time I've ever been late for a non-air shift. I got there at like 2:15 for my 2:00 shift because of that bullshit.
Yeah, dude, listen, like I have to drive usually for work, I have to drive past the Pfizer Forum. And when they were putting up all this stuff, like, I hate both sides. Like, I'm pretty staunchly libertarian. I do not like Republicans or Democrats because I
hate both sides, but I hate one side a lot more.
Yeah. I was so sad that the Bucks had to take down their pictures of like Damian Lillard and Giannis and Chris Middleton and then throw up the RNC banners. Like, I was like, look what you've done to my stadium. I was like a godfather, dude. I was like, look what you've done to my boy. I'm like, why?
I don't know about you. And by the way, the economic boon that this was supposed to be, it has not been. I've seen people tweeting pictures from the public market during like what would be a lunch rush or a dinner rush, and it's just empty. Restaurant owners are saying they got a lot of reservations open because they're not being used. I hate when stuff like this comes to town, man. And I don't just mean political stuff. I mean like big events that shut shit down and eat up public resources, not to get political, and just get in the way of, people who live here's day to day lives, like you, just trying to go to work. I hate stuff like this. I don't want anything to do with a World Cup being anywhere near here. I don't want anything to do with I guess the Super Bowl would be cool, but that'll never happen. I never want NFL draft, any of this stuff, man. I don't want that stuff anywhere near where I live ever. And it's usually never they pitch all these benefits and pluses and like I said, the economic boom that it'll be. And it never is. It never is. The Olympics, I don't want the Olympics anywhere near Milwaukee. Nothing, dude. Just let us. We do fine. We don't need a bunch of people descending on the city and locking the whole fucking thing down and not going to the restaurants and bars and hotels.
No, I don't know. A Final Four would be kind of sick. Like that's kind of the extent. And then I mean, obviously, like the NBA Finals was super fun. Remember when that happened when we had a healthy, somewhat team.
Yeah, that was cool. That was 5 years. That was not 5 years ago. What am I talking? 3 years ago today was the Valley U. The famous Valley U.
Does a tear come to your eye every time you watch that? Do you remember where were you when the Valley U happened? You weren't with me.
Yeah, wasn't I?
Well, I was at Stenny's and we had a big party. So we had a big table.
You weren't at my party. You were at my party, weren't you?
No, the Valley U happened at Stenny's. Because I remember because my cousins were there for that.
Huh. Wait.
We watched the block. The Giannis block was at your house.
Okay.
The block was 2 days ago.
I was probably at home then. I thought it was. My recollection was we were at Uncle Buck's.
No,
I could be wrong.
We weren't.
I don't know
because we were there for the closeout game.
Honestly, we were there, but we were there for 2 games. Oh no, you're right. We were just there for the closeout game, and we were there for the Eastern Conference Championship. You're right.
No, we were there for the closeout game against the Nets. We were there for the game against the Hawks, the closeout game, because we went to Uncle Buck's for every one of the closeouts.
Yeah, you're right.
Those
were good times. I couldn't believe, I knew that the season went deep that year as we go down memory lane of the Bucks winning a championship. Not planned, but why not? It's a good time to do so. I don't remember it being I knew the season was pushed back because the previous season was a COVID season and everything else. With this, the NBA playoffs went into mid-July.
July 20th was when we won it. We won on my dad's birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't realize the season went that long and that deep into the summer. Well, not long. It was it's actually a shorter season, but I didn't realize that they started so late and went this late into the summer.
Yeah, we started like 2 weeks before Christmas.
Damn. Yeah, those were good times. We had some fun.
Bryn Forbes was on that team. Now he hits women.
Yes. Jesus. Way to bring the show down. We were having a good time. We were getting stuff off our chest. That was unnecessary. Nobody was thinking of Bryn Forbes. Jeff
Teague was on that team. Jeff Teague talked shit about Milwaukee because he's a moron. Oh, yeah, Jeff Teague.
Though. He's a funny dude. I'm not going to get mad when a guy's funny because it's about my city. You know what I mean? Jeff Teague his podcast is funny. He always has dish. He always has the tea.
I only hear shit that happens on like Gilbert Arenas' podcast because every take he has. Listen, people are entitled to their opinions, but how is he consistently wrong? That's what's wild to me about Gilbert.
He had another one recently. Oh man, I can't remember what it is. He had another one recently that was just like, I feel crazy saying this to a former NBA player, and a pretty good one, and Gilbert Arenas. Do you watch? Like, he has those takes where you go, do you watch NBA games?
There are times where he says things where I'm like, did you play in NBA games? Like, what are you talking about?
He was good. Gilbert Arenas was a good ball. Yeah, he's a good player. Terrible podcaster.
Dude, like, I mean, there were guys that are like absolutely like shock jock. Like, he is like the Howard Stern of like basketball talk.
No, Howard
Stern. Like, he's a shock
broadcaster.
Well, yeah. Oh, speaking of Skip Bayless, didn't he just get canned or something?
I thought he was retiring, but either way, he's going away. Hopefully, he doesn't show up anywhere else. He's leaving whenever that show is that he does on FS1 that nobody has watched since he's gone over there. No matter who.
Is it undisputed?
Is it undisputed, or is it first thing first? I don't know.
You know what makes me upset too is that Nick Wright was actually right about Pat Bev going over to Israel. It's like, oh, your career in the NBA is done after you threw that ball at that lady. I was like,
yeah, it feels like I know he got a lot of money to go to Israel, and okay, but it feels like nobody in the NBA was really looking for Pat Bev's services, which is surprising to me, honestly. Even with the throwing the ball into the stands thing, I thought somebody would take a flyer on Pat. Remember when he said his price went up because of his playoff performance in the NBA play? Yeah, that didn't happen. I feel like if there was interest, it wasn't that much. He had to get a bag to go play in Tel Aviv.
I mean, he would have. I mean, he probably would have sat until mid-season if like somebody had like a point guard get hurt or something like that. Like,
and there's probably some kind of out where he can come back if the right NBA deal presents itself. Man, you look even more serial killery than usual on today's podcast because you're going past a street lamp, so you're like in dark and then in light and then in dark and then in light. It's free for anybody who's listening on the audio format on Spotify or Apple. You've got to see the video of Drew today driving home from the Laughing. Why did you stay so late? Why do you stay at open mic so late?
I don't know, man. I felt rude leaving, like, because people had to listen to my bullshit. So then I'm like, I'll listen to theirs.
But you were there earlier. I agree with you that you shouldn't stay and watch some. Like, you shouldn't show up, do your set, and leave. That's rude.
Ramie,
you should watch some comedians perform. I was there for like, I don't know, an hour and 15 minutes, even though I went at the very beginning. So I did my time. You know what I mean? I did what a comedian should do, but you don't have to stay there for the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I'm not running from the grind as all the comics that I've been doing. Listen, there's been a lot of young comics that have been talking about me running from the grind because I've just been happier going to the gym playing basketball and not listening to moronic takes on things.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll come out. And then I don't know where they all were tonight. Like, they were like, we need Drew Flaggy to come back and do comedy. And then fucking none of them were there. They were at
Maybe
the
they're in
RNC,
Madison.
what I call
You know the
working. Like trying to get booked by the fucking Daily Wire. Like
the Madison Madison open mic is going on tonight, so that could be it.
Yeah.
Also.
I'm pulling into my garage, so you might have to vamp for like a minute here.
Okay. Why, you're gonna lose reception? And there he goes.
I mean, we're gonna talk about
Gary Trent.
Oh, I'm still here. I just didn't want people to see where I
Fair. That's fair. Yeah. You don't want to get doxxed. You know, that could very well happen if you say the wrong thing here on the show, which you do. You often say the wrong thing here on the show. So I very well understand why you got Taylor Swift fans upset with you, Packers fans, Republicans and Democrats. So yeah, I understand why you would want to give out.
Yeah, see, it's lagging.
Is it? Well, I'll just say the news that folks are wondering. The Bucks added Gary Trent Jr. He signed on a 1-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. Rich Paul, and I like how these NBA reporters now, to gain favor with the agents, they put in the agent's name in the report, and he says Rich Paul and Lucas Newton of Clutch Sports tell ESPN Trent reunites with Damian Lillard and joins a Bucks organization that recruited him hard to chase a title with them. Drew is in the apartment. I can tell by the sound of his keys hitting the table. That's I was surprised by that move, Drew. If you can hear me and it's not still lagging, that was I thought. I mean, this isn't going and getting Damian Lillard last year, but this is a bigger splash than I thought the Bucks would or even could make with their contract and roster situation being what it is. I thought they were pretty much set after they added Prince and who am I missing?
DeLon Wright.
DeLon Wright. I thought they were pretty much done after that. Not that I thought they couldn't improve or I didn't want them to make more moves, but I thought they were done. This is a pleasant surprise that they were able to add Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, that was huge. Like, because that was a guy who was on the top of a lot of people's lists to go get, especially as like a guy who you could sign for a vet minimum, just like Malik Beasley, and plug in as a starter. I saw somebody give the Bucks like a D- or something like that, like a one executive around the league gave us a D- for making this move because like Gary Trent Jr.'s defense isn't good, and I was like, is it worse than Malik Beasley's? Because I don't think so.
No,
this dude's like a legit starter. And correct me if I'm wrong, Gary Trent Jr., was he on the Raptors? No, he wasn't on the Raptors team when they won the championship.
No, he wasn't there yet.
Yeah, he wasn't there yet.
He was still with Dame in Portland.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I was ecstatic about that move. That was a great move.
Dude, they had no flexibility. They had minimum contracts going into the offseason, and you added Gary Trent Jr., DeLon Wright, and Taurean Prince. And we talked about this last time, my conversation with Eric Neem when I was filling in for Sparky on 1250, him saying, like, even then, at that point, before the move to get Gary Trent Jr., that while the names weren't sexy, they weren't big splash, maybe not even as I don't know, impressive or sexy a name as bringing back a Malik Beasley, but they were better fits for what the Bucks had and what the Bucks need. Adding Gary Trent Jr. to that, I think, again, you're bringing back some of the scoring, some of the shooting that you lost with Malik Beasley, and you added those two other guys who bring some defense and some rebound.
Yeah, I mean, DeLon Wright is still a pretty good spot-up three-point shooter. And then Taurean Prince is essentially going to fill into the Jay Crowder role that Jay Crowder was supposed to. The bigger thing is a lot of these guys were getting pursued by the Lakers and didn't want to go to LA. Like, the Lakers haven't been able to sign anybody on their target list this entire year. So, like, people might be sour on the Bucks being a little bit older, or, you know, you look at the ages of these players and go, who would want to come to Milwaukee? And it's kind of like there is a culture with these guys that like other players just kind of would be willing to play a year with, which is how a lot of these dynasty type teams end up being anyways.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, why not go to Golden State for a year before they had to, finally blow it up? Why not go to Boston when they're really good? It's like, why not try to get your title? Fuck. I mean, even like Cleveland when after the Heatles blew apart and everything like that, and LeBron went back to Cleveland, half those guys went and followed him to Cleveland anyways. So why not go take another stab at this to like try to win a ring or something,
And for all the crap we give ESPN and other NBA talking heads, today I think I was watching NBA today. I don't know, I was watching something. It was just background noise. I was flipping around doing whatever, and they were doing like best low key off season in the NBA, and I believe it was Malika Andrews. And she said the Bucks, and she said she talked about the same additions that we're talking about, but also like no noise, no nothing for all the people. And we knew it was bullshit when it was being said, Drew. But for all the people who were like, "Oh, I don't know if this is going to work. They might want to break it up. Giannis might want to leave." It's been very like everybody is just business. Everybody's just ready to go to work. There's been no strife, no bad news, nothing surprising, at least not in a bad way when it comes to the Bucks this offseason. It's just been very quiet, and you know who you're coming back with, and everybody's happy to come back, which I don't know that a lot of people we did, but I don't know that necessarily a lot of the NBA world thought was exactly how it would go down in Milwaukee this offseason.
I think a lot of people – I disagree because I think a lot of people – want to believe that Giannis is this crybaby that's just whining about his roster. He's this big diva. And I think that people want to look at Damian Lillard for, he's a rapper. He's got his shoe deal with Adidas. He's got this. He's got that. Oh, he's seeing Glorilla or whatever. And they want to act like Dame is this big fucking Hollywood guy who only cares about clout and how he looks. And, dude, I was like, that's never been what Dame is. That's never been what Giannis is. And they want him to be this because it's so fucking fake the way that they wanted to act. Like the Bucks are never going to be able to make this work with Dame and Giannis and Chris Middleton. Oh, he might be an outlier. He might feel slighted or something like that. There's all these goofy narratives that they want to just throw out there constantly. And then Brian Windhorst has to turn around and say, if Embiid and Paul George don't work out this year, you might have to give it another year. That it's like that right there is like, oh, you need time to grow. It's so
that's
it's
what
so
Brian Windhorst was admitting right there. Yeah. And you remember last offseason when they added Dame, he was like, if this doesn't work, you might have to trade Dame or Giannis.
And yeah, it's like, no, like I get it. You don't want small markets to have this, and that's totally fine. Like I'm resigned to the fact that it's like all I want is the Bucks fans to be happy and just appreciate what we have right now. I get annoyed when people get mad at John Horst because it's like if you were a fan in 2005 and we told you were going to have two of the top players in the league on the same roster, you would laugh at our purple jerseys. You would laugh us out of the Bradley Center. And it's like right now, it's like we have like these owners, whether you like the Haslams or not, whether you like, Edens or not, it doesn't matter. Like they are investing in trying to win another championship. They'll be the only team in Wisconsin to win a championship in under, 15 years apart from each other, 10 years apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what are you mad about? Like, why? Like, I'm appreciating every minute.
Mad about something.
Well, yeah, and I'm the king of being mad about shit that doesn't matter. But like, this is the most fun right now, and it's like in the fact that
getting him. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying the fact that we went out and we got Gray Trent Jr., who and like these are all moves that make us younger and better. I don't know how many Bucks fans are watching Summer League. Chris Livingston looks phenomenal. He looks really good. Like we had a little discussion. I used the word embarrassing to describe Marjan Beauchamp.
I was just going to say, I haven't been watching the Summer League, but I did witness the conversation in the group chat about Marjan. And I said this at the start of of this past season, that was really, in my opinion, and from the way I see things, this past season was really Marjan's last chance to kind of show that he can be a big time contributor on a contending team, which is a hard thing for any young player to do, dude. They don't have time for your growing pains and your mistakes and your bullshit. You know what I mean? They got games to win. They got playoff seeding to get. They got a championship to win. They're not here to groom players and turn guys into NBA players. Marjan has small windows to do it, and he just hasn't, man. And that might not be fair, but he just and even in the summer league where he gets run, he gets minutes, he's going to get the ball in his hands. He just hasn't really run with the ball when he's gotten it in his hands to use a football now.
No, and like last year, like it was AJ Green and Ajax that they found their niche. Like if you find your niche and you find your way to get more playing time, that's the way you can grow other parts of your skills. Like Ajax was drafted as a guy he was supposed to be like a Draymond Green type player. He was supposed to be a defensive guy who can rebound and he can pass out of the post. And the kid jumps out of the gym, which is awesome. But surprisingly, spot up threes on catch and shoot threes, he was pretty good last year. I wouldn't want to kick the ball out to him in clutch time and be like, yo, go knock down this three for us right now. Like I would never want Damian Lillard or Chris Middleton to defer a 3-pointer to like Ajax. But also like there are times where I'm like, he could be a guy that I would like to see out there for a little bit of hustle. He really brought us to life a lot in the Pacers series when, you know, we were looking old. But like that's Ajax playing into the niche that he was brought in here to do. And then he excelled at something else too. And that'll get him more playing time. Same with like AJ Green. AJ Green, come in, knock down 3-pointers, come off screens, knock down threes. Well, if you can handle the ball and you can pass a little bit, you might have taken those Pat Connaughton minutes now. Mm-hmm. It's like those are the little things where it's like Marjan needed to be a guy who could maybe take 1 or 2 dribbles, pull up, hit like a shot from the wing or something like that. But he just doesn't. Marjan, when he can break loose and he can get by some defenders, he's phenomenal. But it doesn't happen enough.
Right. No, he can jump out the gym, dude. He's and look, he might go somewhere and be able to get real NBA minutes on a team that he doesn't have as much on the line as the Bucks. He might end up being a pretty good player, but like I said, you don't get a big window to show that you can contribute when you're a team that's trying to win championships. That's why I said people threw a couple names at me, Peyton Pritchard, and I forgot the guy from Minnesota. I said when I was again filling in for Sparky a couple weeks ago, I said I heard a couple people saying, you know, they don't develop young players. And it's like, find me the team that's contending for championship that is, you know, developing players. The Heat maybe is one team that you could say is doing it, but they do things differently than everybody else in the league. So Marjan is not going to get the opportunities that maybe he would get somewhere else to make the mistakes and have those growing pains. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like where people are like, well, we're not developing people. It's like, how much does seeding matter to you? Because I didn't think seeding mattered this year, and then we ran into the Pacers, and then that was embarrassing, and all that crap happened with us looking old. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I would have liked that 2 seed. Maybe, you know, it's like I'm not going to sit here and throw away games for a what if when I have Giannis and Dame right now. If you're going to say Dame is maybe a year or 2 outside of his prime, I would be okay with somebody saying that, but you won't know what that looks like until his career is over. And right now, Giannis is still in his prime. 61% from the floor this year. For a guy who averaged 30 points, 61% from the floor. That is his prime. Giannis is not bad.
It sounds crazy to say this. He might have just had his best season. Regular season.
Yeah. And we were a 3 seed with his best season. So it's like, let's just see what Giannis can do again. You know, let's see how much Brook has left in the tank. And you saw what Chris Middleton and Dame did in the playoffs. Damian Lillard was the best player in that Pacers series until he got hurt and couldn't play.
Yep.
Chris Middleton then was the best player on the floor until he couldn't carry that fucking team anymore with Pat Beverly and Bobby Portis out there. Like, dude, we have 3 really, really good players on this team. And it's like, people are like, well, we're not developing Marjan.
That's what I keep coming back to, man. You have 3 great players, and you have maybe the best player in the world in Giannis. He's in the top 3 at worst.
Those 3 right there, Giannis, Dame, and Chris, I will run those guys out there every single day until they can't do it anymore. They are, that is a great core. That's insane.
Yeah, nobody has that.
You're concerned about second-round picks not panning out when you have, like Chris Middleton was a second-round pick. He's an incredible story, and you're sitting here being upset.
By the way, speaking of Chris Middleton, Shams Charania reported today that Bucs star Chris Middleton has undergone arthroscopic surgery on both ankles this offseason. Sources tell me and Eric Name he is expected to be ready for the start of next season. Both ankles.
Dude, God, I was just on my Chris Middleton soapbox, but holy shit, dude. We're doing it again. This is the Grand Theft Auto. This is the shit. Here we go again.
He'll be ready by the season. It's the old cleanup, Drew. It's the old cleanup. They just have to get in there and clean up some stuff, man. You got to get in there. You got to clean stuff up every once in a while. You know what I mean? It's the old cleanup. I might need to clean up soon. My knees might need to clean up, Drew.
They did this last year with his knees, and it was like load management until, well, I don't know, mid-November, and then Thanksgiving goes by. We're all fucking fat off turkey, and all of a sudden he's still playing 22 minutes a night. And then you get him, it's like, okay, you can't play back-to-backers. You can't do this. Fine, whatever, good. Like, just, we need him for the playoffs. And then he's still on a minutes restriction coming up to goddamn Christmas. We play the Knicks 2 games in a row, and he's still on a fucking minutes restriction. And then we get to goddamn January, and he's still on a minutes restriction. And then he's off the minutes restriction for 3 games, and then he jumps on Kevin Durant's big dumbass shoes, and he rolls his ankle, and he's out for 17 games. And it's like, oh, God, it's like, dude, like, again, I will just run him. You're playing.
Yeah, I hope when they say.
Opening night, you're playing 36 minutes.
I hope
you're playing 36 minutes opening night. Unless we are absolutely, I don't even know who we play on opening night. Unless we are absolutely killing this team, you're playing 36 fucking minutes.
I don't know if I need 36 in game 1, but I hope when they say he'll be ready by the start of the season, they mean he'll be ready by the start of the season and not ready to go through again what you just described. That I hope that's not what they mean by ready for the season. I hope they mean ready.
Here, this is what I'm going to say. Chris Middleton, if he is not ready for the start of the season, this makes the Taurean Prince signing less good. Because now we are leaning on Taurean Prince.
You're right. Yeah.
As probably our starting 3. Maybe Ajax for hustle and whatever. But, dude, like Taurean Prince, I was so excited when we got him because it's like that's going to be what Jay Crowder was supposed to be. We're a little bit younger now. I like this Taurean Prince signing. And then it's like, fuck, he might be a starter too now.
Yeah.
Like the second
you don't want too big a role for Taurean. You don't want a bigger role for Taurean Prince than you had planned when you got him. That's bad.
Because this is like what happened with Malik Beasley last year, where we signed Beasley in a time where he was supposed to be the guy coming off the bench to shoot spot up 3-pointers. That was it. Come off screens, shoot threes, park your ass in the corner, shoot threes. You're coming off the bench, and we're going to have Connaughton in one corner and you in the other, and we're going to just run downhill. And if we can't get an open bucket, it's coming out to one of you two. But then it turned into, oh, shit, we can get Damian Lillard. And now we have to trade Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday. And all of a sudden, Malik Beasley, you got to be a starter now. Sorry. Like, you signed for a 1-year deal to prove yourself off the bench. Now you're a starter, and you got to go play defense against goddamn shooting guards in the league. You got to go play defense against Tyler Hero 4 times. You got to go play defense against Jaylen Brown or Derek White. You got to go play defense against fucking Donovan Mitchell. Are you kidding me? And it's like, this guy gets goddamn cooked, and it's like, well, like that's not what I want Taurean Prince to get thrown into.
But we'll see. Like I said, just a cleanup. It's just the old cleanup.
Yeah, that's what the knee was. The knee was a cleanup last year, too.
It's a cleanup. They just go in there. They got a little broom. And
I love
clean it
I
up.
want people to understand. I love Chris Middleton. This
is a very pro Chris Middleton show here.
I want Chris Middleton's number retired in the goddamn rafters. But like, holy shit!
Oh, I think it already is.
Dude, when Dana sent us that report, because I was at the gym when she sent that, I didn't know that happened. I heard my phone.
Oh, nobody did till today.
I walked over to my phone. I saw Dana shared that with our group chat, and I was like, "You got to be fucking kidding me!" Like, I said it out loud, and like 3 other people like asked me what the hell was going on. I'm like, Chris Middleton had fucking surgery on both his ankles, and there were people that were
gotta
like,
be hard.
They're like, you gotta be shitting me, dude. Like, all right.
I wonder if we did them both at the same time. Before that'd be terrible. Before we wrap it up, did you want to touch on some Brewers talk before we go? I'm not doing this to I told you so or anything like that. But I did say that like there was a cooling off that was almost bound to happen. Not because they're not good, just because they were playing insanely. They were like way above expectations, and there had to be a cooling off and a coming back. They're still the best team in the NL Central, and it's not close. Okay, so this isn't me gloating or bragging or I told you so. It's the law of averages. They had to cool off a little bit, and they did. They lost 7 of 10 going into the All-Star break, but that's fine. That's fine. They were so good earlier. They built themselves the cushion to be able to do this and still have a comfortable lead. Cardinals are the closest team at 4.5 games back.
I didn't know that we lost 7 of 10. I just knew that the homestand wasn't great. Whatever. I'm fine with it. Still had, we still had 2 All-Stars. Probably could have had more, but Bryce Terang probably could have been an All-Star. I'm happy. There's nothing I'm mad about the Brewers.
Shaken at all by the losing 7 of 10?
No, because I mean, dude, we're still getting back like Devin Williams. Like, what, McGill had to pitch 2 innings, and that's when we lost one of our games or something. Like, we're getting relief. Like, guys are coming. Guys are gonna be coming off injury. Like, isn't like is DL Hall coming back? Like, I saw
he should be coming back soon. Yeah, and Devin Williams is gonna be coming back soon.
So like we're getting some relief with these guys. Like, there's still trades that can potentially be made. Like, that was the one that I showed you when we were at the Laughing Tap. Was
tell the people what you saw.
Well, it was I don't even know what his name is. Like, from like the Japanese lefty from the Blue Jays. His name's like Kiku something or whatever. They're like, we would give up our number 19 prospect like Blaylock. Like, fine, okay. You're gonna give up an outfielder or something like that. We have a million outfielders.
Yeah, if it's a 1-for-1 prospect for pitcher, I'd do that.
Yeah, a guy who's got like a 4.0 ERA. That's better than Koenig's coming back too. But I was gonna say it's better than having Koenig start and throw an inning in the third.
You see, they DFA'd Dallas Keuchel. So my prediction on him was wrong.
Oh, we DFA'd him? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that was a couple days ago.
Well, that's kind of.
I should send this stuff to you when I see it.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. Well, that's weird because his last 2 starts were actually kind of solid.
Did I get got? I swear I saw a tweet saying Dallas Keuchel got DFA'd by the Brewers. Was that
I would have thought.
I don't know why anybody would put that out there like surreptitiously. Like, that's the lamest prank anybody ever pulled on Twitter. If that's what happened to me. No, this is from Kurt Hogue. He says, this is just 11 hours ago. So Dallas Keuchel era in Milwaukee is officially done. Keuchel cleared waivers and elected free agency. So he was DFA'd a couple days ago. He went through waivers and opted for free agency.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, I guess no real big loss there. We have until Friday or what is it, Friday or Saturday to actually like fill that spot. Like, fine.
I hate the All-Star break. We should end the show on that. No, I truly hate the All-Star break.
I hate that the All-Star break is like the Home Run Derby is Monday. The All-Star game is Tuesday. I think the All-Star game should honestly be 2 or 3 days. I think they should play an All-Star series.
I saw Bart say that. Bart Winkler, friend of the show from Infinity Sports. Yeah, I saw a tweet that it should be like a best of 3 or something like that.
Yeah, why not? Like have a best of 3. Like that'd be cool. Like that's what
I don't
the
know.
fun of the playoffs is.
That's putting arms and innings on arms and guys that are going out there instead of and that goes back to my argument about Giannis and anybody else playing in the Olympics, which is why are you putting miles on your body for something that doesn't matter?
If you're, I don't know, like it would be fun because there are some All-Star games where not everybody's All-Star gets to play. Like you might have like a relief pitcher that never gets to come in or something, which I get it. You're not going to get too excited over the fucking.
Be better. How about you just be better? How about that?
Hey, I'm fine with that. I would honestly be fine with not every team getting represented by an All-Star.
Yeah, I don't like. I've never liked that rule.
I would be fine with that. Like the NBA, like the NFL.
Joe Biden's America, where everybody gets a trophy, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like that. Like if your team sucks, like I don't think you need to be represented. I understand that maybe you want the Seattle Mariners to have a guy go out there and hit a fucking 100 home runs. Cool. That's great. Like I'm good with that. Like, cause there are guys that make the slam dunk contest is full of assholes from the G League. The guy who won it,
slam dunk contest. Yeah, he's from the G League. That little white guy.
So I don't give a shit if you have a guy who's not an all-star, but he's a great home run hitter or something like that. And you're gonna throw
sure. Yeah, no, yeah. I wouldn't even mind. Have you ever seen those like home run derby? Like they're not professional baseball. It's usually like on ESPN or Bally Sports late at night, and they're just like beer league dudes that are just fucking hitting bombs. I wouldn't mind getting one of those dudes in the mix.
Dude, my cousin, like we were watching it at the bar. My cousin was like, give these guys metal bats. Like, yeah, that would be awesome. See how now given there
for the home run derby, that would be insane because there is no net in front of the pitcher.
There are children in the outfield.
That's true. Yeah, they would.
Yeah. So maybe we don't need to give these guys metal bats, but I'm like,
just give the kids running around out there full catcher's gear and let's go.
Yeah, whatever. Just let them go out there looking like Casey Jones from the Ninja Turtles and just gear it up and just fire baseballs at them like that.
How fun would that be? How fun would that be? To give these guys metal bats and just have an outfield full of armored kids just running out there with full body armor like they're about to fight protesters? That'd be awesome.
Make them declare themselves in full armor to like House Targaryen or something like that, and be like, we are the North, and just fire House the Dragon.
But like, Aaron Judge and just missiles off the aluminum bat. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see like a 9-year-old just get their glove just clean ripped off their hand.
And it bounces off their helmet, their impenetrable helmet. They're not hurt. I just want to make clear we're not advocating for the injuries to children. It just bounces off their tactical helmet. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to see kids get hurt.
No.
Funny. Hurt isn't funny. Like mildly rattled is funny.
Yeah.
Like my cousin, he put like on like a really hot day, he took the little ice pack out of the cooler at wiffle ball, and he just put the ice pack under his 1.5-year-old's shirt and put it on his back, and that kid screamed so hard. Like,
by the way, and
he was so on.
That's hilarious. That's a good prank, a good harmless prank on a little kid. You know what I mean? I haven't gotten called for wiffle ball since I saved the day. What's up with that?
Well,
what's going on with that?
Dude, we're on like a 4-game winning streak right now. AJ could attest to this right now. Friend of the show, AJ.
You don't need me? Is that what you're saying? You just don't need me?
Well, hold on. Like we've had a full roster the last couple of weeks. Okay. I learned to throw a reverse cutter. So it's like the cutter that I throw to right-handed batters. I learned how to throw it to lefties in reverse. And dude, I'm pitching on a whole new level.
Show us your grip. Show us your pitching grip. What are we working with here?
I do have
a wiffle ball players out there. Show me like this. Just show me what you're doing like I'm doing right now.
Wiffle ball's got vamp for a second. I might be able to go find a wiffle ball here.
Okay, you're looking for a wiffle ball so you can show us how to throw this pitch that he's talking. I doubt anybody cares, really, but I'm always curious. Paul Skeens last night, or a couple nights ago before the All-Star game, he was showing all his pitch grips. I've always been very fascinated by that. And you would be amazed by what people can do with these wiffle balls. I went against some professional wiffle ballers for a little video we shot when I was up in Minneapolis at Score North, and they were just making us look silly. I did hit one dinger off them, but they were just making us. The ball would literally go in 3 different directions on the same pitch. So I don't know if that's what Drew has in store for us. I'm out of things to say about wiffle balls. Just fucking show us with your fingers, dude.
Okay, so the way the cutter works.
Just finger
the way the cutter works. This is my right hand.
And then we're gonna wrap this up.
Hold it like this, and you have the holes that go around the wiffle ball. So what you want to do, throw it with this top finger in one hole and this finger's in the other one, and you throw it straight down at a right-handed batter's shoulder, and it dips into the strike zone. So it goes this way on them.
It goes backwards.
So
it's a backdoor cut, as they say.
It's not a backdoor, because backdoor would come from the left-handed batter's box.
Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
So this is front door. It goes in under their hands or whatever. So you throw it that way. And then the way I started throwing the reverse one to lefties is I take the holes and I put these 2 fingers in the hole, and I hold this on like the fat part where there is no hole, and I throw the ball straight down instead of going across my body, and I throw it at the left-handed batter's box, and the ball dips this way. So it goes like that.
Oh.
But it's awkward as hell to throw, because like when you're taught to throw, you throw on your back leg and you throw across your body. So now what I'm doing is I'm throwing straight down, almost like a curveball, and it goes that way as like a
different arm slot.
It is, and it looks way different out of the arm. But also AJ plays center field for us, so he gets to watch from behind me and see how that ball is moving. And he said it's majestic.
You made that sound very dirty, but I'm sure it was just about the football.
He gets to stare directly at the behind of my ball.
And see how it moves.
And see how my ball moves.
When you're putting all this finger action on it.
Depending on how I finger the ball.
And how you flick it with your fingers.
I flick and finger the ball in a way.
All right. I think this has gone on long enough. And I mean the joke and the podcast. Any last words, Drew? Not like for your life, just for the podcast.
Those All-Star jerseys were awful.
They were pretty terrible.
Those were really bad.
Yeah, they often are.
They should have wore those for the home run derby. Like, I'm all about that. Like, I have, as a jersey person, I have a ton of All-Star jerseys and stuff. Like, from like my favorite one is the Arizona one that they did, where it was the black jersey with the red on the top and and the snakes.
I know I'm the old guy here. I know I'm the old guy here, but just go back to wearing your team's uniforms out there. I always thought that was cool.
Oh, I'm good with your team's uniform for the actual All-Star game, but I do kind of like, in a way, like that you're representing like the league, because like their team has their team patch on the shoulder.
Yeah,
like the Brewers always had the Brewers, logo and stuff. So like it's there, your team's represented, but then it's kind of like, if you want to get sappy about it and be like, it's the overall, it's like, oh, we're playing for something bigger than just our team. It's the league or whatever. And
I don't give a shit about
it. I'm fine with that, but like for the home run derby, the batting practice jerseys is cool. Like, I don't know. Like it would be cool if like the rest of the year, like once you're elected an all-star, if you got to wear your jersey, like if Yelich and Contreras went out there with like their all-star thing, like on the MLB tag,
like a patch.
If they have little stars, like what Yelich has been an all-star. Is this his 3rd time? So you'd have like 3 stars around.
3 stars. I don't mind that. I kind of like that. Maybe on the back of the hat for the helmet or something.
Kind of like how in the NFL when somebody has like the captain patch, and like they have like
they add the star every year that they're a captain.
I think it'd be cool if players were allowed to do that. That would be kind of neat. Or like I like how with the NBA, like how on like the jock tag on their authentic jerseys, they have the holographic, the foil Larry O'Brien trophy, and it has the number of championships your team has won. Like that's cool. Like I like that.
Cool.
So like
I was actually going to bring that up as an example of like something similar that they could do. And you beat me to it. Great minds, Drew. Great minds think alike.
I think that'd be kind of neat, and I think it'd be a kind of a cool flex because, like, that's like with what Rob Manfred wants to do with baseball and make it more TikTok friendly and like all that horse shit and like make it for like a younger generation. Well, why not let the players wear their clout a little bit? How about that? Like, let
Ken Griffey Jr. spin your hat around backwards like the kids do. Our kids doing
that'd be cool too. Everyone like Griffey.
Everybody loves Griffey. All right. Anything else, Drew? I gotta pee.
I gotta pee too. I gotta shower also.
All right. So let's wrap this thing up. This has been episode 62 of Ramie and Drew. Again, follow, like, rate, review on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Tell a friend. Help us grow this thing. And we will talk to you again next time. Thanks for watching and listening.
Yeah, I'll find a whiffle.